Once, long ago, in the sunlit kingdom of Evermere, there lived a wise and noble king named Eldran and his beloved queen, Althea. They had ruled their lands for 40 years, bringing peace and prosperity to their people. They were revered not for their wealth or power, but for their wisdom and kindness. Eldran was a man of great stature, though the age in his bones had begun to slow him. His hair had long since turned silver, and his once strong hands trembled slightly as he held the royal scepter. Queen Althea's beauty, though softened by time, was radiant, like the glow of the setting sun. Her eyes, deep and kind, carried the wisdom of decades spent serving her people alongside her husband. As the years wore on, the burdens of ruling began to weigh heavily upon the aging couple. They worried for their kingdom. Would their legacy of peace endure when they could no longer guide it? Their children, the princes and princesses of Evermere, were young and still learning the ways of leadership. Eldran and Althea had spent many sleepless nights wondering whether their heirs were ready to take on the immense responsibility of ruling a kingdom. To find peace of mind, King Eldran and Queen Althea decided to embark on a journey to visit their kingdom's farthest reaches while they still could. They wished not only to see the lands they had ruled for so long, but also to speak with the people who called Evermere home. They hoped these travels might give them insight into the lives of their citizens, and perhaps impart one last lesson they could pass on to their children. Their advisors protested, "Your Majesties, such journeys are tiring, and the roads are dangerous for those in the twilight of life." But Eldran simply smiled. "A ruler must know the hearts of their people, not from a throne, but from their homes. I have no other way to teach our children what it means to truly lead." And so, accompanied by only a small retinue, the king and queen set out. They traveled through bustling towns and quiet villages, across vast fields golden with wheat and forests thick with ancient green. Everywhere they went, they stopped to speak with the people, to listen, to laugh, to learn. In a small village perched on a hill, they met a blacksmith named Rondon. His hands were calloused from years of labor, his face marked with soot and wear, but his smile was warm. Rondon spoke of his joys and challenges freely to the king and queen, unburdened by formality. "My work provides for the village," he said, "but when the burden grows heavy, my wife and children bring me strength. We all carry our loads together." Althea's heart was touched by his words, and she asked, "Do you believe, Rondon, that such unity can endure in hardship?" Rondon nodded. "When one falters, the others lend a hand. So long as we remember that no one's burden must ever be carried alone, we will always endure." Eldran and Althea exchanged thoughtful glances at Rondon's wisdom, seeing in it a truth they hadn't yet fully understood: that leadership, even for a king, was never meant to be a solitary burden. In another village, nestled in the valley, they met a farmer named Mara. Her fields overflowed with crops, yet she toiled tirelessly. "This land feeds not just my family, but others who cannot grow their own food," she explained. "I give freely because I know that we are all part of the same soil." Moved by her generosity, Eldran asked her, "But what if someday you need more than you can give?" Mara smiled softly. "Then I trust that others will give as I have given. If we guard what we own too fiercely, hoping to keep everything for ourselves, we will only grow lonelier. It is in sharing that we find connection." Again, the king and queen found themselves humbled by the wisdom of their people. These were lessons that neither of them had learned from books or court scholars, but from ordinary lives lived with extraordinary grace. As they traveled further, speaking with tradespeople, healers, artists, and shepherds, Eldran and Althea began to see a pattern in their encounters. The people of Evermere did not look to their rulers merely for laws or protection. They looked to them as examples of integrity, compassion, and humility. The king and queen's greatest gift to their kingdom was not their riches or their armies, but their ability to inspire. Slowly, Eldran and Althea's hearts grew lighter. They realized they did not need to solve all the problems their kingdom faced in a single lifetime. What mattered most was planting seeds of wisdom, generosity, and unity, seeds that would continue to grow long after they were gone. When their journey was complete, they returned to the castle, wearied but invigorated by all they had seen and learned. Their hearts were full, knowing they had gathered valuable lessons from their people, lessons that would guide their family and kingdom towards a future built on the foundations of wisdom and unity. They called their children to the Great Hall and shared the lessons they had gathered from their people. True leadership, the king said, is not about commanding from above, but walking among those you serve. It means listening, caring, and knowing that no single person bears the weight of a kingdom alone. Queen Althea added, "It is the strength of your people that gives you strength, and it is their wisdom that guides you. Always remember that a ruler's role is not to hold power tightly, but to help it flow freely among the hands that build, grow, and nurture." The young princes and princesses listened closely, and though they were unsure if they understood the full depth of their parents' words in the moment, they carried those memories with them like treasures. Years later, when King Eldran and Queen Althea passed away peacefully in their castle, the people of Evermere mourned deeply. Yet their legacy endured, not just through the heirs who had taken their place, but through every cobbler, baker, teacher, and farmer who had once shared their hearts with the king and queen. For the seeds the royal couple had planted had blossomed into a kingdom bound by empathy, courage, and connection. The lesson of King Eldran and Queen Althea was clear. True greatness is not found in what you keep for yourself, but in what you give to others, not in ruling over them, but walking with them. It is in remembering that we are all stronger when we carry the weight of life together. And so, the kingdom of Evermere flourished for generations, guided by the wisdom of its people and the enduring inspiration of its rulers, who understood the power of unity and humility.